sounded really nice.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are firing up the engine. We have everything somewhat kind of rigged. We have oil pressure rigged a little bit right now before we put it in the car. Intake is all back on. We have oil feed hooked up and oil return. For the first start though, we're gonna go ahead and pull the turbo off the hot side to like blow out any debris and stuff. So the first fire will actually just be the engine without the turbo on it, and then we're gonna bolt the turbo on it without any of the cold side mounted up, just to kind of hear some turbo noises and make sure everything's working on that side. But at least we'll get to hear what it's gonna sound like on the turbo, which will be pretty sweet, and make sure all the oil stuff isn't leaking. But yeah, we have the only really big project we have left to do is wiring, cleanup, and then this exhaust side out of the turbo. Everything else really is wrapped up. I mean, a little bit of battery relocation stuff, but we already have the wires ran up to the front and everything. So yeah, after this, it's, well, I guess cold side and wiring. And we got all next week to do that before IFO, so we're gonna go and make a quick intro here. We're gonna try to fire this thing up with the turbo oil stuff hooked up, just not it actually bolted down, and then we'll bolt it down to the exhaust and hear some turbo noises for the first time, which we're pretty excited about. I still have the stock injectors for now, just because there's no boost or anything, and then I'll go ahead and put the new injectors in once I start cleaning up the wiring and do the wiring for the injectors. So we're gonna go ahead and fire it up, and should fire right up. I mean, just like it has normally, but then yeah, turbo time. Fuel leak?
Not over here.
Okay. You ready?
Not quite.
You ready?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Yeah, that's literally blowing right in my face. Can I put this down now? Here, grab that gasket, and we'll just set that gasket down when I set this down.
That's all it was. I just put I folded a piece of paper over 4 times and stuck it under there.
I saw. So I mean, we just have to play with the idle pin.
Well, we'll have to. I mean, we got to tune everything.
Well, I know. But I'm just saying, that's just something we're gonna have to do, is just adjust the idle on it.
Maybe, but yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the gasket on the exhaust now, put the wastegate on, and then we can maybe hear some turbo noises coming up next. All right, guys, well, we're about to fire it up with the turbo connected. It's kind of raining, so it's a little loud, but here we go. I mean, there's not gonna obviously build any boost, but we should make turbo noises. I mean, that's kind of what we're after, so it's probably gonna blow it. Let's move some of these tools.
Well, it's not gonna build any pressure, so it's really not gonna move that much air.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't move any air, because then it would change the tune if it moved air.
No, well, it's not going into the intake.
Oh, that's true. You are gonna probably rack it a few times.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just blowing at this point. Check oil pressure. All right, well, here goes nothing. Probably still gonna be pretty loud.
Oh, it's gonna be ridiculously loud.
Oh, something dumping out. I was worried about the oil pressure.
I don't.
Well, it at least ran. We're gonna take a moment here to check a few things out. Well, still want to get the oil pressure gauge working here, so I think I might just go directly to the battery just to make sure that's working, and then we'll try to fire it up again real quick.
Oh, the oil was burning off the header. I was like smelling something, so I pulled the wires off real quick.
Yeah, I saw that oil. I just jumped all over it.
Hey, she has oil pressure.
Yeah, well, it has oil pressure. We showed about 30 pounds just kind of by revving it up just a little bit. It's a little late right now, so we'll probably jump to tomorrow, and then we'll fire it up again and let it warm up, rev it up a little bit more, kind of test the turbo out a little bit. But yeah, we are officially the beginning of turbo. I mean, it's on there, it's running with the turbo.
Yeah,
so I
it's
mean,
running with the turbo, so I mean,
baby steps. We still need to obviously hook it up to where it's actually running off the turbo. But we'll fire it up a little more tomorrow, do a little bit more just testing, just kind of revving it up a little bit, and then we'll just go ahead and start changing injectors, map sensor, going cold side, then wrapping up the battery relocation, and I think we're good to go. I mean, we have some wiring to do, but that's just gonna take time to just knock it out, really.
well,
So
I mean, cold side, but I mean, it's just
yeah, the cold side honestly is not going to go that bad because we have fabricated pieces that we're just going to cut and kind of make work. And I got those boots to kind of fit to where we want. So yeah, I mean,
we'll probably, and your transmission cooler line comes next week.
yeah,
right?
we'll get the transmission cooler taken care of. So I mean, really, our list is dwindling to probably about 5 or 6 things. I mean, it might change. It'll probably change. We still have to build the exhaust off the backside of the turbo, but
I mean, we'll probably be driving it next week.
yeah, well, I mean, I hope so. We better be driving it next week.
Yeah, we better be driving it next week.
But cut to us till tomorrow, and we'll fire it up again and actually, you know, really run it out and see what the turbo sounds like. All right, so it is the next day. It's light outside now. I'm gonna go ahead and I got the battery hooked back up. Laptop's loading up. to fire this thing back up with the turbo on it. This way we can let it run a little bit, see how it kind of revs. I'll show how much it spools. And then I'm hoping, I would like to get some of the exhaust ran. And then diving into the wiring, big project. That's going to be, you know, a big whole deal in itself. So that'll take up most of the time. Hopefully this next week. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fire it up again and see how well this turbo actually spools up once you rev it up a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing fired up. Needs a little throttle position, I think. Might have to go. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and temporarily touch this throttle back up real quick. Just with a zip tie. Kind of hard to do with one hand. Just kind of, just temporary so I can get this thing running from inside the car. All right, let's try this again. I don't think it's going to stay running until I put something in this. Try to keep it running long enough for me to grab the definitely running now. Still pretty loud when you rev it up. All right, just shut it off. Definitely a little smoky in here. I'd put some more oil in the car and I dumped it all over the headers. And then I think there's some residual burn off going on from all the fingerprints and everything. And it is smoking a little bit. And I don't know if it's just maybe not be draining oil super great, but whew, got to step out of the garage here real quick. The smoke's all cleared out now. I think the best thing is once I get the exhaust pointed out the fender, it'll be a little easier. This way it kind of just pushing all this hot air right into the engine. So yeah, then once we make an actual exhaust that comes out the fender, it'll definitely be better. I'm afraid to run it too long just because of everything just blowing right in there. But it sounds really good. Definitely have some work on the tune. It's still set up to run for the mass airflow, and there's no O2 sensors, there's no mass airflow. So I'm going to be changing that in the tune once I get the wiring, everything done with the injectors. But yeah, pretty excited about this step. It's good to finally get the turbo on and running and spooling with all the oil and everything, oil pressure. So yeah, so next is, you know, this next week is wrapping up all the wiring. Like I said, getting this exhaust done, and then kind of just wrapping up all the little things, odds and ends from the list that we need to get done. Like I said, mostly wiring. I got to fab up a throttle cable bracket and put the fender back on, and we're ready to go racing. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. You know, so we're a week away from race day, and super pumped, super looking forward to it. A little nervous. Hopefully the car makes it and everything runs good and it turns out as good as we hope. But either way, it'll be a video. So thanks for watching.
Bye.